Hi folks, welcome back. Thank you for watching. Please do hit subscribe if you haven't done so yet. It really does help when you do that. So today folks, I've got a deceivingly simple looking pedal to show you. This here is Nursie from Sitek over in Poland. Now essentially what Nursie is a full frequency 24 dB high headroom clean boost. So it won't colour the sound at all, it will just give you more of whatever you give it. So it just boosts the level without doing any other trickery. Now this pedal has a charge pump inside to take a 9-volt power input and up it to 18 volts internally. So it's got really high headroom and it won't crunch up on its own regardless of how much you slam into the front end of it. But despite being just a one knob pedal, we can use this in a variety of different situations for different effects. So today I'm going to throw 4 tests at Nursie. Now first and foremost I'm going to leave the gain all the way down at 0 and turn the pedal on and off so that it's acting as a unity buffer. Now what I'm going to do to really highlight this is I'm going to plug my guitar into Nursie using one of my really high quality Mogami cables. But then I'm going to connect Nursie to my amp using this, which is by far and away the worst guitar cable I've ever plugged into. I've no idea what the capacitance of this cable is, but it's really high and it makes pretty much any guitar sound like you've got a blanket over the amp. But using budget cables is reality for a lot of people. So I'm going to use Nursie to take a high impedance guitar signal and drop it down to a unity low impedance output, which should negate the effect of the capacitance of that horrible cable. So let's have a look then. Let's turn Nursie on and off and see what the buffering effect does. So a very clear effect there, right? Now with the pedal in bypass, the capacitance of that nasty cable is loading down the pickups and all the high treble frequencies are being dumped to ground. So despite being a Gretsch guitar with single coil pickups, 1 meg pots going into an AC30 type amp with a Celestian Gold, everything sounded very muffled. But as soon as we turned Nursie on, it wasn't boosting the level at all, it wasn't colouring the sound. All it was doing was acting as a buffer to drop the impedance down, it stopped the capacitance of that nasty cable being a problem, and everything sounds bright, glassy and defined. So it works fantastically well as a clean, transparent buffer. Now the second test I'm going to do is I'm going to use Nursie to boost into the front end of a clipping stage. So I'm going to use this pedal here, which is Sitek's woofy pedal, their kind of gritty overdrive distortion, and I'm going to leave the drive set pretty low and then use Nursie to boost the signal into the front end of it. Because by doing that, this won't get a huge amount louder, but it will push the signal harder into the clipping stage to create more gain and saturation. So we can use this not to create level, but to just fatten everything up and create more gain and sustain. were doing there was boosting the signal harder into the clipping stage of the woofie for more gain and saturation. We weren't creating much in the way of a level boost, but we were definitely fattening things out for more singing sustain and rich harmonics. So it's a bit like having a rhythm and a lead channel on your amp. When you kick the lead channel in, things tend to become a little bit more compressed, a bit more harmonically rich to really thicken out lead lines and just feel a bit more buttery under the fingers. That's essentially what we were doing. It was like we were turning the gain of the woofie up, but instead of actually doing that, we were doing the same effect using the Nursie to boost into it, so we could then foot switch that gain boost in and out. So using a clean boost into a gain stage is a really nice way of kind of adding a second channel to your overdrive pedal, essentially. But now let's use the Nursie after the gain stage for a very different effect. So I'm going to use this pedal here, Sitek's Fuzzy pedal, which is their really nice kind of fuzz face type circuit. And I'm going to set the level on this a little bit quiet, because we're then going to use Nursie to add pure volume. No more gain this time, just SPL. Now it's important to say that your amp does need to be set with headroom to spare in order to do this. If it's already crunching up and really squashing the signal, we'll just create more gain again. But if you've got headroom to spare, you can use a clean boost for a pure volume level boost to really get you heard over the band for certain sections of your playing. Now, of course, doing those bends there, playing a riff and then making the bends jump out with volume, is much easier to do when the pedal's on the floor in front of you and you can use your foot rather than reaching over and doing it with your hand like I was doing today. But you get the idea. If you like your core sound but you just want certain bits to be louder than others, it's great using Nursie for that, to really make features of certain riffs. But there is a hidden feature of this pedal that makes that sort of thing so much easier, and that is that it has a very clever foot switch design in that it's both latching and momentary, depending on how you use it. So I've got the pedal on the floor in front of me now so I can demonstrate this. If you click the switch once, it engages the pedal like any other pedal and you turn it off in the same way. But if you push and hold the switch, the pedal stays engaged for as long as your foot's on it, and then when you release it, it goes back into bypass. So you can make features of riffs using one foot stomp rather than two. So I'll try and do those bends again and show you exactly how this works. So that's a really nice touch on this pedal that makes it all the more versatile on a pedal board. You can use it like any other boost pedal, but you can use it as a momentary thing to boost level or gain as well. But for the final test today then, let's use it for what a clean boost is more commonly used for, which is smashing the front end of a good tube amp. So I'm going to move over now to using my Cornell Romany Plus, which is today set like a 5-watt tweed champ, and I'm going to use Nursie to boost into the front end of it. I'll set the amp on the edge of breakup and then just add more level using Nursie for more gain, more saturation, and being a tweed amp, more fizz. So that's the more common way of using a level boost, to slam it into an amp to make the amp overdrive even more. But as we heard today, we can use Nursie in a few different situations for some very clever and useful effects. Now, I'm very impressed with this pedal. It really doesn't colour the sound too much at all. So boosting into the amp at the end there, if the amp had more low end, you would need to be careful with that as you're boosting into it, because it doesn't shelve off the low end, it just gives you more of the same. So it's not a shaped boost, it is definitely a full frequency boost. But especially running it after the fuzz to add more level, it worked fantastically well for that. And also as a buffer, it's a really nice, clean, transparent, high headroom buffer too. So you can use it in that situation as an always on pedal at the start of your pedal board to just drop the impedance of the entire board, keep your cable runs not loading down the signal, keep everything bright and defined. It works great like that too. So it really is a Swiss Army knife of a pedal, this, and yeah, it sounds absolutely fantastic. So please do comment underneath, folks. Let me know what you thought of the Nursie today. Which situation did you prefer it in and why? I love chatting nerdy guitar stuff with you folks in the comment sections. And please do carry on subscribing to this channel. I know I always say it, but it does make a huge difference when you do that. So thank you ever so much for watching, folks. I hope this video was interesting and useful for you, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.